Hello, thank you for being here. My name is Alicia Finley, and today we are going to do a slow flow practice. For this practice, I invite you to grab a blanket or a towel just for a little bit in the beginning, this first pose, and then, of course, padding if you need it for your knees. And then we will use or have the option to use from time to time a block. So grab a block if you've got one. And again, if you don't have props, don't worry about it. Sometimes books will do the trick, and bathroom towels work great as well. So come to your mat. We're going to start in a child's pose, and we're going to do it so that we're going to be working a little bit today with some movements, with some active fascia stretching within some of the movements that we do, and others will just kind of be deep releasing. So this first pose is more of a deep release. And in child's pose, you can either take your two fists and you're going to go into the soft part of your belly, so below your rib cage but above your pubic bone into the soft part of the belly. I like to tuck my thumbs in, and we're going to lay over that. Or if you want to use a blanket, you can roll, and you may want to play with both to see which one feels better for you. You might also want your block at the beginning, just because with your hands or maybe the blanket in there, your head may not come down quite as far as it normally does. And so you may want to add that extra prop in. So I'm going to start with the blanket. I'm going to see how that feels, and then I might switch to the hands. So the key here is really wedging it in there. It's not a super big roll. And then the knees are going to separate a little bit so you have some space to lay between. And I am going to use the block and rest the third eye on the block. So as you come to the mat, just take a moment and say thank you. Thank you for carving out this time for yourself. If you're doing this when it's coming out, it's January, it's the middle of January. And a lot of times people at this time of year, in December, they come up with that New Year's resolution. And I've always been someone that does a little bit more about just thinking about what it is that I want to bring more of into 2021 or 2022. And as I kept reflecting, it was just not being scared to try new things, not being scared to go after something different. Not it was worrying so much if I've got it right or if it's the exact right decision, but just continuing to take action. And so I thought about the word like action. What's my word? Is it action? Is it try it? Is it go for it? Is it just believe? And right now I'm landing on the word one. The word one. Because I always believe we're just one moment, one experience, one relationship away from our life completely changing. And so if you have a word, I want to hear what it is. What is your word for 2022, if that's something you do? And as we practice today, we'll kind of use this power of one in this slow flow practice. Just this one practice, or maybe it's one pose today that makes a difference. So take a moment, set your intention if there's one that is there for you today, and if not, that's okay. And then slowly begin to walk yourself back up. Ooh, give your belly a moment. So if you want to, you can just rest your hands on your legs, close your eyes for a moment. Really let that belly expand now and breathe fully. Invite your Ujjayi breath in. Good. And then let's just take our left hand behind us. Inhale, stretch the right arm up to the sky. If you want, you can even turn the fingertips away from you. Reach up, breathe in. And then exhale, bring your hands to your heart and come back to center. Now, if it's too much on your knees to sit back, you can be up on your shins here. And then instead of the hand to the floor, you just put your hand on the low back. Inhale, reach the arm up and the hand behind. Exhale. Good. Inhale. a chance for us to stretch out the belly a little bit, but also the mudra of Anjali, of coming back to center. Inhale last time. Exhale. Good. And then take your hands out in front of you, and I want you to take them just a hair wider than your shoulders. So I'm going to go about as wide as my mat, but my hands are still on the mat. Knees just a hair behind your hips for this. And I want you to imagine you're squeezing your hands together as you breathe in, and you're going to feel your core kind of wake up right away. And as you continue pretending to like squeeze the hands toward each other, I want you to sit your hips back like you're going towards child's pose, but we're not going to go all the way. You're going to feel your arms work. Now, when you come back up, I want you to not hug in at all. Just relieve the pressure of hugging in and come back out without resistance. Now, squeeze in again. Inhale. Feel the waistline lift, and then exhale. Do it again. Inhale. Now you're letting go of that resistance when you come back up. Exhale, squeeze in. So we're stretching some of the fascia. So the fascia is what encases our muscles. Inhale one more time, coming back up, squeezing in. And then exhale, it hugs around the muscles, around the bones. It's kind of like cellophane around everything. Good. And then let's slowly come up. So we're going to do it one more time. Scoot your knees back just a hair more, just like an inch or two. Now I want you to imagine that not only are the hands hugging in, but they're almost hugging in and down towards a V a little bit. Okay, so do it one more time. Inhale, squeeze in and almost back. You feel that waking up the core, and then sit it back. When you come up, release the resistance, squeeze in and down like a V. So your hands are moving toward each other, but also back towards you. And this really starts to wake up the arms, the shoulders, the core. One more time, squeeze in and back. Exhale. Very good. Inhale, no resistance. Come forward. Walk your arms out in front of you. Puppy pose, forehead to the ground. Groins roll back, upper inner thighs roll back. Belly button moves towards your back body and slightly up. If you're more flexible here, you can start to drop your chin to the ground. Good. And then walk your hands back in. Nice and easy. Fingertips spread nice and wide. I want you to tuck your toes, and we're going to take our first downward facing dog. Let's go hips to the sky. Exhale. Now I slid my blanket to the back of my mat, and if you wanted to, you could let your heels, just to ground you a little bit more, anchor into that blanket if you like. If it's not there, don't worry about it, or if you don't have one, not necessary, but does feel kind of good. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Good. One more. Inhale. Let it go. Right foot's going to step forward in between your hands. Take the back knee down to the ground. Now, if you like here, you could use your block. Have it on the inside if you have two blocks, one on each side of your foot. But if you just have one, put it on the inside of your front leg. We're going to lift the chest as we breathe in a low lunge with the hands down and the knee down on the back leg. And then Ardha Hanuman, straighten the front leg, flex your toes, spread them out, heel digging down, heart forward. Good. Now inhale, come back into the lunge, but this time lift your back knee. And now long pyramid pose, straighten the front leg and bow. And again, my back heel, I'm going to just let it go ahead and rest right into that blanket if it's there. Good. Now we're going to repeat those 4 movements. So back knee will come down, the heart will lift. Notice the difference in this stretch. Cross the psoas, the hip flexors on the left. Ardha Hanuman, exhale. And you're just here for a breath. Inhale, starting to wake up those hips. Back knee lifts, your gaze comes forward. Different kind of stretch with the back knee up. And then long pyramid pose. Exhale, front leg straightens. If you're more open here, you can even let the toes and the ball of the foot come up. Let's do it again. Inhale, back knee down, heart lifts. Ardha Hanuman, exhale. Inhale, lunge, back knee up. Exhale, long pyramid. One more round. Breathe in. Let the shoulders Release. Exhale, pyramid. Ardha Hanuman. Inhale, lunge with the back knee up. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Exhale, long pyramid. Good. Inhale, back into that lunge. Set your block off to the side and exhale, downward facing dog. Front foot steps back. Take a full breath in. And I want you to open your mouth and sigh it out. Inhale, left foot forward. Back knee down. Grabbing your block or blocks if you have them. Hands on the sides of the block. Inhale. So the key is trying to allow your body to actually feel the stretch, Ardha Hanuman, even though you're only there for a breath. Can you get to a point where you're not rushing, right? Slow flow, back knee up. This one's a challenging one because you're lifting the leg on the inhale and seeing if you can also feel a little surrender. And then long pyramid pose. Exhale. And if you can, let that back heel. You'll get a nice calf stretch. Drop into that blanket. Feels so good. Back knee down. Inhale. What's all the fuss about the blanket? Ardha Hanuman under the heel. I'm not kidding. It makes a huge difference. Heart forward. Inhale. You're lifting the back knee, gazing forward and seeing if you can have a moment where you feel that release. Exhale. Long pyramid. We got 2 more rounds. Breathing in. Getting into your breath. As you start to slow down the breathing, the nervous system starts to calm down. Back knee up. Long pyramid. Maybe flexing the foot on the last round or 2 as the hamstring starts to wake up. Breathe in. But if you're tight, don't rush it. Exhale. Inhale. I practice early in the morning, which it's not right now. Exhale. I feel like I can barely touch my toes, so don't you worry. Inhale, bend back down, block off to the side. Exhale, friends, downward facing dog. We're friends, right? We've been practicing yoga together. If this is your first class with me, welcome. So glad you're here. Good. Take a full breath. Breathe in. Stick your tongue out this time. Exhale. No one can see you. Inhale. Lift those heels and slowly walk forward, really feeling each step as you come to a forward bend at the top of your mat, lifting the heels of your hands once you need to. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, fold and bow. Relax your head and neck. Good. Reverse your swan dive. Inhale, reach all the way up, and you're going to flip your palms as you interlace your hands, turning your palms to the sky. And exhale, let's side bend to the right. Inhale to center, side bend to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, release your hands, clasp behind you. Roll your chest open, breathe in. Maybe look up right where the ceiling and the wall meet. And then bend your knees and forward fold, shoulder stretch. Lean to the right so your chest leans more on that right leg and your left shoulder lifts off the left, and maybe smile. And then back to center. And then lean on the left leg. Let your right shoulder open. Knees are bent here. And exhale, fold. Fingertips to the ground. Inhale, half high. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Drop slowly, slowly to the knees and curl into cow. Inhale. Now draw your belly back towards your spine as you exhale, bend the elbows, knees down. Put your pelvis down, cobra pose. Inhale. Down dog. Exhale. Now again, that blanket is there. So if you want to, at any point, you can put your heels on that blanket. Take your right leg up towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, your right foot will step forward in between your hands. Now again, back knees going down, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. This time though, the arms are going to come off the ground. Breathe in. And now as you exhale, I want you to cactus your arms. Good. Now I'm going to turn so I can face you so you can just see this for a moment. Your right arm's going to stay in this cactus shape. Your left hand is going to come and hold the outside of your elbow. And I want you to imagine that your right arm is trying to open out into cactus, but your left arm is going to pull your right arm across your body. So think right arm's going this way. So there's some resistance, and you're going to pull going across. And you're going to get a really good stretch for your rhomboid right in the medial part of the shoulder blade, on the inner border of the shoulder blade as you come across. Now, when you can't go any further, just enjoy that moment for a second. It feels so good. No resistance. Just let your arm come back. So it's coming right about to the shoulder. So do it again. Come across. You're trying to make your right arm go right as your left arm is pulling the arm to the left. And you're not overdoing it. It's this active little fascia stretch here in that upper back. And then you're not going to do any resistance as you let the arm come back. Do it again. Pull across. All right, right arm's going to the right, but left arm is pulling it to the left. You feel that? Yes? Good. One more time. Reach it back and pull. It starts to get tired really quickly. And yet there's also a release. You feel that balance. The power of one more, right? We did 4 instead of 3. I feel like I always do 3. Now let's slowly come back. Inhale, cactus your arms. Good. Exhale, take your hands down to the ground. Frame that front foot. Lift your back knee up. And now world's greatest stretch. Left hand down, low lunge twist, aka low lunge twist. Right arm to the sky. I want you to make some arm circles, taking the arm down, around, and just letting that arm stretch now. So a couple times, I like to lean back even a little bit with that top arm, and then switch the direction. Go the other way. Hello, shoulders. All right, right hand down, right foot back. Plank pose, breathe in. As slow as you can, exhale, knees to the ground. Curl into cow, inhale. Don't go quite back to cat, but draw your belly button back towards your spine. Lean your weight forward, exhale, bent elbows, chaturanga with knees down. Pelvis down. Keep the shoulder heads lifting as you rise up a little higher into cobra, maybe leaning a little bit side to side. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hips go back. Take a breath in. I'm enjoying my blanket back here, so I keep wiggling backwards. And breath out. Left leg rises, breathe in. Left foot forward in between the hands. Back knee goes down. I'm going to face you again. Inhale, arms reach up. Good. Exhale, cactus your arms. Good. Now this time, it's your left arm that's going to stay in this cactus shape, and your right arm is going to come across. So think of the left arm opening. It's trying to open out to the left, and your right arm is going to pull it across to the right. So take an inhale. And now exhale. Slowly start to pull as your left arm is resisting. And you don't want to overwork either one, right? There's the balance of the left arm not pushing back so far that you don't feel the stretch. Now remember, when you come back, let go of the resistance. Do it again. Pull across. Oh my gosh, that feels so good in the rhomboids. Even the top of the trapezius, the top of the shoulder, you'll probably feel it there too, perhaps. Again, across. And the power of 1, we're doing 4 instead of 3. Bring it back. Remember, no resistance when you go back. You're not trying to pull against it. Let it just come back without any force. And then slowly bring it back. Good. Take your hands down to the ground. Frame that front foot. Lift the back knee. Low lunge twist. Left arm to the sky. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Bend a little deeper in that left leg and wrap the outer left hip back as you start to make your arm circles. Circling all the way up, back and around. A couple times this direction. And then switch it around. So good. So good. Think the power of you finding yoga. Okay, step it back. Down dog. That one person, that plank pose, got you to come to a yoga class. Exhale as slow as you can. Use your core. Knees down. Curl into cow. Exhale. You're lowering to chaturanga. As you do, draw the belly back, shift your weight forward. You're keeping the knees down unless you just can't handle it. You got to lift them up in chaturanga. Cobra pose. Good. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. You feel any difference in those shoulders? Maybe so, maybe not. It's okay. It takes time. It's something new for a lot of us. Right leg goes up. Breathe in. We're going to do another one here. Right foot forward in between the hands. Back foot warrior one. So angle the foot. If you want a little more of a base, just widen your feet a hair. And we're going to come up Virabhadrasana 1. Now, again, I'm going to face you for a moment. Drive my back heel into that wall. So come back to cactus. Inhale. And this time, I want you to take your arm like you're like, hey. You're going to bring the right arm a little bit more so that your bicep is closer. Okay, now take your left arm in front. Your right arm, I want you to imagine it's lifting up towards the sky, and your left arm's going to be pulling it down simultaneously. Okay, you ready? So hold on to the forearm. I like to hold from this grip. You can hold this way, but I like this way. Your right arm is resisting and going up. Your left hand is drawing down. Here we go. Exhale. 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 Now, as you're going down, I want you to see this if you can feel it in your upper traps. You're still in warrior one. Are you there? Now, no resistance. Let your arm come back up. Exhale, pull down. Pull down. Pull down. Reach up as you're pulling down. Now, I want you to let your left ear, when you get to the bottom, take an extra breath. Let your left ear fall towards your left shoulder. Justin Bieber, yummy, yummy. Good, let it go. Come back up with the neck. That's what always comes into my mind. Exhale when I just feel that good stretch. Right arm resisting up, left hand pulling down. Oh, right there I really start to feel it as it's about 3/4 of the way down, and then left ear falls, left shoulder. Yes, you know we're doing 4. Inhale, back up. No resistance. Don't pull on the arm as it's coming back up. Exhale. You can really feel it maybe in your tricep here as well. Let your left ear fall to the left shoulder. So good. Reach up. Breathe in. Open to warrior two, yogis. Exhale. How's that front thigh? Yeah, it's waking up. Take your gaze to your right middle finger. Good. Now flip your right palm up. Flex your wrist so that your fingertips point to the sky. And take your left palm and turn it down. Take your right ear to your right shoulder. Now you're going to switch your flick of your wrists and your head. So right hand, now the palm is facing you, and left hand, the fingertips are going up. And you're going side to side. Go. It's like a flossing now across the top of the shoulders. One more. I know, my front thigh. Talk about explosion of the quads. Okay. The quads. Straighten the front leg. Breathe in. Yes, that feels so good. Triangle pose. Reach out. Right hand down. Left arm up. Take a full breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Release the gripping in the toes, and yet connect into your big toe mound on your right foot, the toe mound behind your pinky and the heel. Feel the right hip crease sliding back, elongating the right side of your waist. Keep driving into the back foot and extend your sternum more forward. Lengthen the back of your neck. So if you are looking up, you're not straining and lifting the chin. The chin is neutral. Last breath. Good, very good. Cartwheel down, back and heel lifts, plank pose. Now, if you want to do regular chaturanga, you sure can. If you're liking that knees down, curling into cow, exhaling, drawing belly back with knees down. You can stick with that today. Cobra pose or up dog. Down dog, exhale. All right, left leg goes up, breathe in. And your left foot is going to step forward and through. We're coming to that warrior one. All right. Now, cactusing the arms, open up. This time your left arm, it's going to come up a little bit more by your bicep. Your right hand will come in front and hold the forearm. Remember, left arm is resisting up as right hand is pulling down. Don't forget about the legs. Always your foundation is important. Drive down into both the legs. Squeeze them in. So here we go. Exhale, draw down with the right arm, but keep lifting up with the left. And then no resistance as you let it come back up. Inhale. Drive down. Exhale. Now we're going to add the next stretch. So when you get to the bottom, let your right ear fall towards your right shoulder. Good. Bring it back up. Inhale. No resistance when it goes up. Exhale. The neck will turn right at the bottom. You can give yourself a full extra breath there. Not being in a rush to come back up. Last time, if this is your fourth one, draw down. Once you get to the bottom, let your right ear fall towards the right shoulder. Take a full breath. Neck comes up, arms release, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Let the feet maybe open and adjust a little bit. Now the front wrist, you're going to flex the hand. Fingertips point up, back wrist, palm faces you. Left ear will go towards your left shoulder. And as your head switches, so will your hands. So inhale one way, exhale the other way. Ungrip your jaw. Maybe swallow. Release some tension out of your neck. Notice those forearms. Like, where do you feel it? There's a lot happening here. Last time, head going back to the right. Vira 2, exhale. Straightening our front leg, breathe in. The angels sing. Reach out, Trikonasana, left hand to block shin or floor, right arm to the sky. Good. Now, if you're looking up, you're not lifting the chin. So it's nice to start with the head neutral, keeping the chin in and slowly turning. If it bothers your neck, you can always look down. Watch the toes from gripping on the front or the back foot. Keep the ribs knitting in. Take one more breath. Cartwheel out. Back heel lifts, frame your foot, step it back, plank pose. Chaturanga. I'm still sticking with my cobra today. And down dog. Exhale. And take a full breath in. And maybe you sigh it out this time. Good. Inhale. You can always take a child's pose if you like. Maybe another sigh. One more. Lift your heels. Bend your knees, look forward, step. Or if you want to jump, you can certainly jump. Again, it's slow flow, so I'm just taking it a little easier. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, fold and bow. Let the knees bend a little bit. Clasp your hands behind the back of your head. Your pinkies right on the bottom of the ridge of the skull. Bring your forearms in so they're framing your cheeks. And just let yourself sway out here a little bit, side to side. Bending the knees as much as you like, as much as feels good. Allow there to be space between the top of your shoulders and the base of the skull. Good. And then release the fingertips to the floor. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, fold and bow. Bring your big toes together. Your inner heels just a little bit apart. Bend your knees, sink your hips, chair pose. Reach the arms up. Interlace your fingers, push your palms to the sky. Sit down a little deeper. Draw your belly back and sit a little deeper. Take one more breath, breathing in. And then push to stand as you let the arms open and swan dive. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Step back, plank pose. Lower all the way down to your belly, all the way down to the belly. Take your arms out in front of you, but more on a Y, so on the diagonal towards the corners of your mat, forehead to the ground, tops of your feet to the floor. I want you to push the pinky sides of your hands down and energetically suck your armpits back a little bit. So the shoulder blades, you notice them a little bit more on your back. And at the same time, keep the belly button drawing away from the floor just a little bit. So it's connecting in towards yourself. And then keep pushing into the pinkies of the hands. Lift your head and chest up. Good. There's an integrated shoulder girdle, but the arms are in the overhead plane here. Keep the tops of the feet pushing down into the mat. And then you're going to take it into a W. So you're going to let the pinkies lift and make a W or a cactus shape, but we're going to bring the elbows in a little more so it feels like a W. Good. Now go back out into the Y if you can. If it's too much, just more of a cactus shape is fine, but you're going to keep the head and chest up. So inhale back to W. Exhale out to Y. Inhale, W. Exhale, Y. Y one more. Inhale, W. Exhale, Y. We are really going to do one more. Here we go. W and Y and release. Good. Forehead to the ground. Let your hands glide back by your rib cage. Tuck those toes. You can push towards child's pose. You can push towards plank. I'm going to move towards child's pose. I'm going to keep my toes tucked, stretch the soles of the feet. Downward facing dog is there as well. Take a couple breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Again, one more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Inhale. Lift up to tabletop or come down to tabletop. And let's take our right foot to the outside of our right hand. Runner's lunge. Good. Now, if you like, you could use your block and bring your forearms down onto your block. If you want to work with opening the hip a little more, turn those front toes out. You can let the knee open. And I'm going to add a side body stretch in. So keeping the left forearm down, I want you to reach your right arm over towards the left. So your right knee is going right and your right arm is going left. Breathing into those intercostal muscles and the lats under the right arm. Good. Walk your hands, slowly bringing them back underneath you. And we're going to slide this right foot in front of the left, coming to Gomukasana. Sit the hips back. Now you might need your block to sit on, or you can grab your blanket. Otherwise, some of you might like the block out in front of you so your forehead can rest on there. So lifting the chest up nice and tall, breathe in. And then exhale. I want you to come forward, not as deep as you can, but a little deeper, whatever that looks like for you. And I want you to just lean a little bit side to side. And the more you scoot your feet away from your hips, the more intense the pose will become. So as you go side to side, you might notice one sit bone feels like it's going to lift. Try to keep them both down. And then come back to center and see if you can fold in a little deeper. Maybe it's not to the full range that you could go, but it's just a little deeper again. And then soften. The power of one breath. The shift of the mindset. Taking one chance, making one change. The key in all of it is about taking action of some kind. Good. Now slowly walk yourself up. We're going to add just a little twist in here. Take your left elbow to the outside of your right leg. Bring your palms together and turn your torso to the right. And you want to lean back a little so you perhaps will notice a stretch through that right waistline that you don't quite get in a chair twist or in some other twists, while you're also getting this lovely hip opener. Good. Now come back to center. Breathe in. And you're going to lift this right foot off, and you're going to come to a standing split. So lean forward. You can use your block to help you and lift. Standing into that right foot, lift the back leg up. Point the toes down to the ground. Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly bend that front leg, landing the back foot about 3.5 feet between front to back foot, and we're going to come to revolved triangle. Block on the inside or outside of the foot if you're using it, or hand on the floor or shin or outside of foot. Stretch the heart forward, turn the torso to the right, and then again, reach the arm to the sky. If that feels good. If it's too much on your shoulder, hand can stay on the hip. Continue to stretch the sternum forward. So it's okay if that front knee needs a little bend in there. Ujjayi breath, breathing in. As you exhale, twisting deeper. One more, just one more. Breathe in. Turning the navel. Breathing out. Beautiful, yogis. Top hand comes down. Bend that front knee. Walk your hands out in front of you. Step back. Downward facing dog. Now, if you want to take a flow, you want to come forward to plank in between your sides and lower to chaturanga, you can. Into up dog or cobra, and meeting us back in downward facing dog. When we're ready, left foot's going to come to the outside of the left hand. We're going to repeat that. Left hand or left foot to the pinky side of your left hand. Maybe using your block, coming to the forearms. Option to turn that front foot out 45 degrees, tracking the knee in the same direction as the toes. And then you can take the left arm and reach it. I like to go on the fingertips here. Reach it over to the right as your knee goes left. It's actually one of my favorite stretches because it just gets into so many parts. It's a hip opener. It's a side body stretch. It's a forward bend, which is very calming. Lots to offer here. I'm going to slowly walk the hands back up under the shoulders, setting the sole of that front foot back to the ground. Use your hands to draw the energy of the hips back, and then slide your left leg in front of your right. So you're coming back to Gomukasana now. Grab your blanket or block if you like or need it, sliding that back with you. Make sure both sitting bones are down on the ground, lifting your chest up nice and tall. And remember, we're just going to come forward a little bit, so just a little ways forward. And lean now a little bit side to side. Sometimes when I physically shift my body, it reminds me of just those small adjustments, both in my body, in my practice, but also in my life. It's just those small decisions, come forward a little deeper, that collectively, sometimes one small decision can make a huge difference, but most of the time it's small little decisions repeated over time. And that's what the yogis say in the sutras, that the practice becomes firmly rooted when done regularly, over time, with devotion. Those three things: regularly, over time, with devotion. And that is true of anything that we're working toward change in our life. You have to do it regularly. It has to be done over a period of time. And day to day, we have to have the devotion, the discipline to stay with it. And then we'll come back up into that Gomukasana Twist. Now, if you're enjoying where you just were, just stay there. Otherwise, right arm, bring it to the outside of your left leg. Bring your palms together, and instead of leaning forward towards that left leg, I actually want you to push your palms into each other and lean back, 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 without letting the left sit bone lift. It's like you're gaining an extra inch of length on that left side. It feels so good. And there's space for you to breathe in this twist, which is nice. Good. And then slowly unravel. We're coming back to that standing split. So just lean back a little bit so you can let that left leg come off. Use your hands to support you. And standing into that left foot, let's pick our right leg up. Toes pointing down towards the ground. Now, if your toes turn out, just maybe you want to heighten that block up a little bit. And again, rotate the toes towards the floor. For most of us, it's going to look more like an L shape than an actual split where the leg's high in the air. And then bend that front knee. Take a shorter step back for revolved triangle using the block. I'm going to use the block today. Maybe your left thumb goes in that left hip crease to help you create more length in your spine, stretching your heart forward. Front leg straightens and your back heel is all the way down. Start to revolve your torso to the left. Revolve to the left. Now, if you feel better, just keep the hand on the hip or reach it up towards the sky. Inner thighs draw toward each other, creating that balance as you bring your power towards the center, towards the midline. Stretching the sternum forward. Rotating that outer left hip back a little more. I always feel a little more my IT band when I do that. Good. And then slowly let that top hand come down. Bend that front knee. This time we're going to step forward and we're going to come to a Malasana, a Yogi squat, coming on down. Palms together. Good. Now you could sit on that block if you need it. You could come down to Baddha Konasana if this just isn't making your knees happy. Okay? Lots of options. Part of that regular practice over devotion is learning what it is that our body needs in any given moment, any given day. Let's take a reverse tabletop block off to the side. Feet out in front of you. Fingertips point towards you. Unless your shoulders are a little tight, then you might feel a little better with those fingertips pointing out to the sides. Feet flat on the floor. Inhale, reverse tabletop. Lift your hips up. Watch the head from just dropping back, compressing in your cervical spine. Look more up towards the sky. Draw your throat back. Stretch across the front of the shoulders. And you can always amp things up, right? You could extend your legs out. I recommend coming down first, but going into a reverse plank if you want to go a little deeper in your pose. 2 more breaths. Good, and then come down. Paschimottanasana, slide the flesh out from underneath your sit bones. And if you need a blanket, grab that. Reach your arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. If you want to use your block and rest it on your shins and then let your forehead rest on the block, you could. And then inhale nice and slow, come back up. Let's come down onto our back, everybody. Scoot yourself into the middle of your mat. If you want to work your core a little bit, here's your shot. Rolling back nice and slow. Good. And then coming all the way down, hug your knees in towards your chest. Hold one hand on each shin and make some circles with your legs. And then go the other way. So we did a lot for the upper body today in doing some of that fascia, that active fascia release work and some of those movements. So now we're just going to release the hips though a little bit, okay? All right, so I want you to take figure 4, but today, instead of threading the arms, I want you to take your right hand, and you're not pushing your knee away, it's really just holding it as a focal point. And then left hand, I like to hold my heel. So I'm going to hold the heel. If you prefer to hold the top of the ankle or foot, you can hold there as well. And I just want you to let your chin be level with your forehead or even down a little. And use your hands to gently draw the whole shin bone and leg. And your left leg is helping. It can facilitate in bringing the right leg closer to you. But where there can be a little bit more of an active release is imagine that you're pulling your right shin and leg towards you, and yet that the right leg is also, your hands are pulling it to you, but your leg is actually trying to move away from you. Can you do both? And there's a beautiful release that happens. So use your hands to actually move the leg towards you, but I want you to imagine that the whole right leg, without over efforting here, is moving away from you. You can let your left foot relax here. Okay, let the left one relax. Good. Now let go. Keep your legs like they are. Let go. You may want to look for a moment. I'm just going to swivel my left foot, that's the bottom one, so that my right hand can grab that foot, and I'm going to pull the heel close to my butt. And I'm going to let that whole outer left leg come to the floor, and the right foot, I'm going to uncross it and just step it right in front of that shin. Now, I'm trying to get this left knee basically in line with my left hip. If you're a little tighter, it might be a little more to the left. That's okay. Some of you may not feel a huge stretch here, so if you want a little more, clasp your right, pull your right knee towards your chest and clasp the front of your right shin. And hopefully this will give you a little more. If you're still not feeling it, you could even take a hamstring stretch. Flexing the foot, straightening the leg, and clasping the hands behind. But I really like the knee to chest is like, whoo. And it gets into the quad, the 4 quad muscles, a little different than I find a lot of other quad stretches do, because it gets really into the medial part across the hip flexors, but I can even feel it into the very fleshy middle section of the quad as well. So just letting yourself be absorbed by all that's going on. And then we're going to let go with the hands. Keep the right knee bent, and you're going to set the right foot on top of your left leg, and we're just going to take a nice simple twist. This bottom leg is still sort of in this bent position. Now, if you want to go a little deeper, you're just going to fully wrap into, not eagle legs, but just let the legs wrap. I like to have my left hand just somewhere on the outer right leg. My right hand is out. My right arm is like a T. Nice little extra hip opener here. And play with, if you move your knees closer up towards the top of your mat, does it give you a deeper stretch? Does it change the stretch? Sometimes it's one little movement, right, that changes it all. Let's come back up to center, uncross your legs, let both feet go flat to the floor, and now just feel. Okay. Ready for that second side? Figure 4 variation. So right foot on the floor, left ankle, flex your left foot as you hook the ankle above the leg, and now right foot will come off the floor. But today, your left hand will be in front of the knee. Again, I'm not pushing my knee away. I'm just trying to keep it steady so that it's not moving toward me and it's not moving away from me. It's just staying steady. And I'm going to hold my heel, unless you prefer the top of the ankle or foot. And we'll use our right leg to help us bring the left leg closer to us. And yet I want you to feel like the left leg itself is trying to move away from you. And you're not overworking either one of those. So it's this balance of, can I gently draw the left leg towards me and ever so slightly feel as though there's almost a magnetic pull of the left leg moving away from you. Your right arm is a little more active here, but your left one should be pretty easy. In fact, I've got my upper arm just resting on the ground. And that right hand isn't working too hard, okay? See if you can find that balance. You might even get to the point where that forearm or that humerus, your upper arm, can be resting on the ground as well. And then let go of the leg. Take your left hand, again, if you need to look, kind of swivel your legs just a little right so your left hand can grab your right foot, and let that right outer leg, if it will, go all the way to the ground, the outer leg. Now, uncross this left foot and just put it down on the floor anywhere it's comfortable. I have it in front of my left shin. Now, if you need to, you can push into that left foot to help you slide that right knee a little more to the left so you get a deeper stretch. But basically, if I look down, mine's a hair to the left of my hip, but it's about in line. And then left shin, you can hold the front of that left shin by bending the knee in if you need a little more. If you don't need more, just keep the foot on the ground. You take little creative liberties like rotating the ankle around on the left side. Can you soften your ribs down a little more? And that right knee, it may be lifted. So if we're real tight here, it might be off the ground, and that is absolutely okay. And then we're taking this twist, letting go of the left shin with both hands, put the sole of the foot either on the leg, a nice easy twist. You can even use your block and have it catch the inner leg, or you're going to wrap your legs. So you may want to slide that right foot out just a little bit, wrap the legs, either cactusing your left arm or make a T, and then right hand, you can just let it rest on your outer left leg. And gently bring the legs up, uncrossing them. Reposition your pelvis so you feel like you're neutral. Let both arms come by your sides. And squeeze your knees into your chest one last time, rocking side to side. If you like, curl up into a tiny little ball. Tighten every muscle you possibly can. And then exhale, release it, and let it all come down. Legs extend out. Palms turn up. Push into your elbows. Hug your upper arms in a little closer toward each other, feeling the upper spine elevate a little bit, feeling the shoulder blades support the spine. Relax your fingers. Relax your toes. Relax your face. Relax your skin and your fascia. Feel as though the fascia is melting into the muscles dropping into the bones, and the bones releasing into the earth. Perhaps having a moment where you can't quite tell where your body ends and the earth begins. slowly start to come back. And if you have more time, please stay longer. Allow parts of your body just to bring in a little bit of movement. Take your arms, reach them up and over your head as you take a big inhale. Bend your knees, connect your feet to the earth, and roll to your right side using your right arm as a pillow for your head. And then using your front hand, bring your body back upright to an easy seat. Taking your palms, folding your palms in together at your heart in Anjali Mudra. Taking a moment once again to say thank you. It's how we started and we will end. This practice is a gift. Each moment that we are awake and breathing is a gift. Not always easy, not always pain-free, but it is a gift. So I thank you for taking this time for yourself today, and it was my honor to be with you and guide you. Thumbs to third eye. Namaste, everyone. Thank you. I would love to hear your word for 2022, and I invite you to remember the power of one, that you're one away. One choice, one friend, one experience, one opportunity. So every day it's important, even though if you're not sure it's the right action, just take action. Take action towards things that feel good. So thanks everybody. Until next time.